Okay, everybody. So the past couple of days, depending on what assets you were in, if you got lucky and did some good analysis, you were in assets that made you money. But the majority of them were sideways to negative. S&P, Bitcoin, gold, oil. If you would have been short the market, then you would have probably made out okay. So yeah, I've been out of the majority of my positions since earlier in the week. I know I did a video 2 days ago. Um, on that. I think I had mentioned there that I had been kind of out of my positions, uh, but Bitcoin, we're still ranging. I said we would probably range between 51 and 61. We went a little bit lower than that today. Today we were in the low 50s. So kind of what's going on. I mean, we are seeing some selling pressure. I did highlight the SAR, the stop and reversal point. We hadn't really hit one. Uh, you know, we hadn't flipped one this cycle, this bull cycle, but that we had printed one around 48,000. And as price fell, it looked today. There was a lot of selling. Kind of back here, we almost flipped it, but we didn't flip it. So one of these weeks in this bull cycle, I think we're going to flip this SAR, and and based on the past bull cycles, that's been an indication of a good time to buy, considering and making the assumption that the bull cycle is not over. So that's the assumption I'm going to make. We'll see if that's wrong or right. I think we're about mid cycle, or maybe three quarters of the way through. So if you would have looked and you would have seen, so let's bring up some moving averages on the hourly. Uh, I also did say the last time that the 1 hour had been getting you in and out of trades, not really that profitable. Some of them were, you were losing, but it would have got you out here at around, you know, uh, just say mid 54 area. We were having some support in that area, but we actually broke through it right here. I said we were, like 54 area. As soon as we had a close below that support level, uh, that was a sell. And that support level, even though we did wick, but this was an aggressive sell off. You could have sold here, that you would have got out at like 52, and then we would have went lower. And I can show you there. Let's look at the daily real quick. So the daily, we're kind of forming this nicer reversal candle. We'll see if we get some follow through there. Let's go back to the hourly. So I'm going to bring up, so our moving averages right now. I'll show this in a little bit. Hold on. I want to show the RSI, and I want to show the CMF. So here's what we have. We had the RSI go negative down here. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So the RSI went negative down here, and then we had sideways action. But we're still getting negative. We're still getting the CMF going down, which signals more selling. Our RSI did start to go up, kind of went sideways, and then kind of right here, early this morning, we had the 9. Let me bring up. I don't need. Well, we had the 9, and then we have a 6, and then we're getting, we're getting some more of a sell off. And when was it? We had an announcement that so Elon. It was early Wednesday morning, I believe, and this is what kind of gave way to these candles right here, where we had that run up. They announced that Tesla would start taking Bitcoin for, you could buy basically a Tesla in Bitcoin. Well, that's happened before, where Elon has come in and said, made an announcement and prices rallied, and then it didn't hold. So it was back. I'd have to look at the article. It was like he tweeted it was inevitable, and basically what he meant was that Bitcoin is inevitable. That was a signal that they had bought, some Bitcoin. Come to find out, it was $1.5 billion worth. That ran the price up, and then, you know, it was like, a short, intraday price rise, and then it sold off. Well, the same thing happened here. They announced it. It was early. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And then price ran up. We hit 9, and then we sold off, went sideways. But what I want to highlight is there's a signal here that you could have bought, and it's the same thing that I always point out. So price is going down, and we had, it kind of happened a little bit later here, kind of probably here, right? Where we had this big, the CMF came up and price was going down. And that happened, say 10 o'clock this morning, where price was around, say, 51. And then here it was a little bit longer, but you see the RSI still didn't go negative. So we're getting some bullish divergence. Price is going down, some indicators are going up. This was a signal to buy. Now we're getting prices starting to stall. RSI is trending down again, CMF trending down again. We crossed over the zero area on the 1 hour CMF. Price could come all the way down here and then bounce. That's kind of what I would be looking for. So where is this finding resistance at? So we took our trade. Say we took our trade at 51. We were currently, we would currently be at 1%, went as high as 3% on the trade. But this was a tradable bottom, right? So where is it stalling out at? And I'll show you. We can get rid of the RSI. It's stalling out at the 30 MA, right here. See? So if this is going to be sustainable, a sustainable run on this sell-off, price needs to close above this 30 MA on the hourly. So, and then what I also want to do this whole week, it was like everyone was filing for a Bitcoin ETF. Fidelity did one. I know Goldman Sachs. It wasn't exactly an ETF, but it was a vehicle. It's an investment product that's potentially going to invest in Bitcoin. So you'll get Bitcoin exposure. I know Van Eck has one. Skybridge filed for one. There's like 5 of them that had filed for. Oh, here's it. So Van Eck, DIG, Wisdom Tree, Grayscale, Valkyrie. I know that the Van Eck one, the Skybridge one, the Fidelity one, those are all active. Grayscale did file for one, and at the moment they did an interview and they said they weren't going. They're going to just watch and see. I think there's 5 ETFs currently being filed with the SEC. Once that gets approved, you can expect that day is going to be a tremendous day. There's a wait period there. This isn't something that happens overnight. Initially, the response. The SEC has 45 days to respond, and then they can be extensions. So I mean, that would be about a month and a half from now. So yeah, this is what we're watching right now. I did say we would range between 51 and 60. If this price starts to fail, if we start to get weakness here, and the CMF is still trending down, so I would say it would really break once we broke this 0.1 area. We would get severe pullback, but I would really only be aiming at the pullback would be where that SAR is. Maybe we wick a little bit below it, but we would get here. That could indicate a good time to buy. Maybe we hit this 46 area that never got retested whenever price ran up here. We never, this could form a potential support area because this is a support area. We can go a little bit below it, come back, and bounce. But right now, what we're looking, if price is going to continue, we need to take out this 30 MA on the hourly. Our indicators are kind of, coming, they're kind of starting to trend down after this tradable area right here. We can look at the funding rates. Funding rates are starting to flatten out. It went negative on the 4 hour. That's actually good. Daily is still positive. So that's, the market is stubbornly staying long. We're getting a little bit of a reversal candle. Maybe we come up a little bit, maybe not much, 54, 55 area, and we might continue to sell off. On the weekly, we're kind of getting, neutral. So yeah, I mean, we're getting what I wanted to get. We're getting consolidation. We're consolidating a large range. This is essentially, like it's like a 20% swing, right? Up and down. This is a big range. Maybe we wick down and then we continue up. I think that's what's going to happen. So that's Bitcoin. I wanted to highlight TLRY because TLRY also had a big sell-off and there was news. So it was like New York, not cannibal rats. How do I not know how to spell cannabis? Let's just type in NYC, and that should come up. How about this? Probably should have had the... yeah, so there was news yesterday, and you can see it. There was news yesterday that New York State was working on a bill to legalize recreational marijuana. That came out here right around midday, and then price ran up, but then it sold off. So let's see if we saw that in the CMFs. So the CMF was here. It still trended down, and it was kind of odd because the article. So they re-released the article again today. Let's see what the New York Times had to say. So New York Times. You have to subscribe anyway. This was here. New York set to legalize recreational marijuana for adults, right? So that came out yesterday. That was midday here. Price ran up and then failed. And then they released an article again. So here they were talking about the deal and that it could potentially be voted on as early as next week. And then they released another article, another statement saying that we have reached a deal. We're going to vote on it next week. So what you can see, and it was kind of odd that price didn't hold. I mean, the overall trend, when I say news only affects price for like a day or two, for a few days. And this was just basically a couple of minutes. But you saw here in the CMF, it was still trending down, even though we had price going up. So it's like this indication would have told you this wasn't going to hold. But what we saw is we continue to see price go down, and I'll bring up the RSI again. So what we saw is we saw a bullish divergence again. Price went down. The CMF has continued to trending up, right? Here, price was going, price started to spike, right? So we have indicators going up, price going down. This was kind of like a fake out. Price went up and it continued to go down. So you would have observed here, right? You would have looked at your 30 MA on the hourly and realized, hey, this didn't hold. It didn't close above it. And here we didn't close above it either. But you have these two indicators. Price was going down, severely oversold. The CMF is going up a lot. And then even here, it started to go up even more. So you could have bought, you could have seen that it was oversold. It was oversold here and it reached oversold again, right at, right whenever this candle closed. So you could have waited till here, right around 21, and then you could have entered a position knowing that you're showing strength, right? So you'd be up about 4 to 5%, depending on if you would have waited here. I actually entered a position right when the market opened, because these were just too overwhelming to pass up. They were like, this is showing you that, hey, we're getting some upward movement. Even though the CMF didn't show it on the 4-hour, in the RSI on the 4-hour also, it's kind of just flat. We're starting to get some early indication of, a price, strength on the hourly. So enter that trade, only anticipating to potentially take profits here at the hourly, which would give me about, say 7 to 8% return within a day. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I know post market it was already in the 23 areas. The 30 MAs are at 23.30. So we'll see what happens tomorrow morning, right when the market opens. There could be a huge spike and then a sell-off. That's what you're waiting. But you'll see that all within the first hour. If price goes ahead and finds some good support, we go above it. Say we get here, $23, $24, and then we come down, find support in mid 23s with upward momentum. Let's pull up the on-balance volume. On-balance volume is also starting to trend up again. 4-hour, it's kind of flat. But we're so oversold here on this that what we're looking for is let's see, let me mark this real quick. We're looking for a retest right here. So we're looking for a retest of this with a green number, and we could potentially get that tomorrow. That'd be 23.83. That would give us a return around 7 to 8%. So we'll see within the first hour how that goes. So that's about it. We can look at the S&P real quick. Like I said, many things have been flat to sold, kind of sold off tremendously. Went here, found, got some strength. Prices started to bounce up. Same thing, the market can bottom out on a 6, and then we can go up. Maybe that's what we're seeing here, some strength. I'll bring up the CMF and see how that comes. Oh, no, this is not an index, so I can't do that here. But we can look at the RSI real quick. Yeah, that's starting to bounce, but that's just trending up with price. But if I'm looking at just price action, areas to retest, kind of here, this is support, found strength and went up. Let's look at, I know, was it Roblox or Roblox or something like that? Yeah. So this is I got a question on this last week as far as if this would be a good buy. I said let the market kind of do price discovery for me. It's kind of been, there has been weakness. It went down, finding some support. I think whenever I did the video, it was kind of around this area, the 72 area. It's at 67. Again, still not really enough data to kind of determine where this is kind of going. Still need more data, so maybe I'll revisit it next week. But that's about it. So watching marijuana stocks, Bitcoin on potential rebounds, but I think we're just going to keep on going sideways. If it does drop, it could be in that 48 area, and then that'd be an awesome buy. So I appreciate it, and thanks for watching.